How to take your body measurements. One of the key factors in getting shirts that look great and feel great is getting your measurements exactly right. In order to enter your body measurements, you need to log into the system. And either, if you're a new customer, continue to create a new entry, or log in if you have an existing account. When you log in, click on the My Account and go through to the Measurements section. In the Measurements section, you have your measurements and those of friends and family that you wish to add to your account. In this section, we start to enter the different measurements. There are actually 11 different body measurements needed, and we're going to go through each one in turn. The first is the neck measurement. For the neck measurement, place the tape measure around the neck and take the measurement with one finger between the neck and the tape measure. It's the same for the female as well. Place the tape measure around the neck with one finger in between. Next, we take the chest measurements. For the man, we place the tape measure at the highest point under the arms, bring the tape measure round to the front and place 4 fingers between the tape measure and the chest, and then we take the measurement from there. On the female, it is slightly different. We place the tape measure round the back, bring it round to the front at the widest point of the breast. We then place 2 fingers loosely between the breast and the tape measure and take the measurement from there. Next, we take the stomach measurement. Take the tape measure, pass it around the waist at the level of the belly button, and then place 2 fingers between the tape measure and the stomach and take the measurement from there. It's exactly the same for the female measurement. Place the tape measure around the waist at the level of the belly button with 2 fingers sticking out from the stomach and take the measurement from there. The seat measurement is a particularly important one. Place the tape measure around the waist at the level of the widest point of your seat and place 2 fingers between the tape measure and the body and then take the measurement from there. It's exactly the same on the female. Place the tape measure around the waist at the widest point of the seat and place 2 fingers between the tape measure and the body and then take the measurement, holding the tape measure loosely. Next, we need the length of the shirt. To measure the back, find the vertebrae at the very top of the back and the base of the neck. Place the tape measure on that vertebrae and then measure down right the way to the bottom of the buttocks where the shirt will end. For the female measurement, it's exactly the same. Take the tape measure, find the vertebrae at the top of the back and the base of the neck, and then measure down to exactly where you want the shirt to finish, which is generally at the base of the buttocks. The next measurement is the shoulder width. To find the right place, find the bone at the top of the shoulder, just as it drops into the muscle on the arm, and then measure across through the base of the neck, over to the same bone on the other side, just as it drops down into the muscle on the top of the arm. For the female, it's exactly the same. Find the bone, place the tape measure on the edge of the bone, across the base of the neck, and then down the other side to the bone on the other edge of the shoulder on the other side, and take the measurement from there. Next, we have the sleeve measurement. Find the bone on the edge of the shoulder where it drops down into the muscle on the top of the arm. Measure down to the bone on the elbow, and then from that point measure along the forearm to the point where you want the sleeve to end, which is between the wrist bone and the first knuckle of the little finger, so about halfway between the two, and take the measurement at that point. The process is exactly the same on the female measurement, so find that bone on the shoulder and then measure from there right the way down to the bone on the elbow, follow along the forearm from that point all the way to where you want the shirt to end on a normal shirt length, which is halfway between the knuckle of the little finger and the wrist, and then take the measurement from that point. Next, we have the underarm measurement under the shoulder. Find the bone on the edge of the shoulder, then pass the tape measure under the arm, up above the shoulder, and then with 2 fingers spacing away from the shoulder, take the measurement from that point. The process is exactly the same on the female measurement. place the tape measure under the arm and back over the top to the edge of the shoulder with 2 fingers acting as a spacer, and then take the measurement. The short sleeve measurement. Find the edge of your shoulder bone, as before, and measure down to where you'd like your sleeve to end. It can be useful to wear a short sleeve shirt when taking this measurement that you like the length of, as shirts tend to vary in size. The process is exactly the same for the female. Find the edge of the shoulder and measure down to where you'd like the shirt sleeve to end, whether that's a high short sleeve or a long short sleeve. There are 2 wrist measurements, and generally you'll want these to be pretty much the same within a very small amount of difference. So take the tape measure, place it around the wrist with 1 finger between the tape measure and the wrist and hold it loosely. Remember to allow for any watch or other jewelry you may wear. This is true for the female wrist as well. Place the tape measure around the wrist and place it loosely over the top with 1 finger between the wrist and the tape measure, and then take the measurement. Now that you have all your measurements added, click the submit button to finish the process.